Page 176, Bagatelle. It's just a reading exercise, nothing new. You just read the music, see if you can sight read it, or at least sight read one hand at a time and see how you do. I look it over, it's two lines long, treble bass clef, one flat in the key signature, so it's either in the key of F major or D minor. If we look at the end, it's F's, figure we're in F major. Do the scales and arpeggios for both though, F major and D minor. At least 2 octaves up and down by now. And common time or 4/4 time. We take it one hand at a time and see. Right hand is here to start. Remember the B flats. 1 and 2 and 4 and cross over like in a scale. Now they want you to have third finger on measure 5. Well, I'm a little I'm out of position. No, we got two beats there in measure 5, 2 C's. So I'm going to change hand positions there. So in measure 5, or measure 4, I end here, measure 5, I'm just going to reach out and play the first one with a little finger, and then 3. So I change on the repeated C's. And then they want 5 again. That's just poor fingering in my opinion. Just, come on, that's a beginner's fingering. Yucko, yucko. No, just stay where you are, and then scrunch up and use little finger. Now I will mention that when you're sight reading, you don't have time to look out and figure out fingerings, you're going to use the fingering suggested probably, and you're going to run into problems because it's crappy fingering like this is. So that's just part of sight reading. Sometimes you'll have seen the patterns before and you see what's coming and you know better than to finger it the way they're suggesting. Otherwise, you're going to finger it the way they're suggesting. You're going to come up here. I would not. I would see the C's and I would see that's a C and I know I've got 2 and I need 3 on it, so I would just do that then. Even sight reading I can do that much, assuming it's not too fast. Otherwise, you got to learn to jump around and use a lousy fingering when you're sight reading. It's good exercise. It'll help make you a better pianist because you're jumping around quickly and that's what you're going to have to do someday maybe. So it's okay as far as an exercise, but fingering wise, it's terrible. It's like Franz Liszt, all right? Okay. When he practiced the scales, he would practice a scale, all of them, using all the fingerings of all the other scales. So it's like in C major, he would use C major scale, fingering, and all the white key fingerings, but then like in B, it's here, start with 2, then he would do that with this. Finger, not a big deal here, but then when he practiced it like use the fingering like in here. This fingering here. He would use this fingering for this scale. He would practice all the scales in the different fingerings, and in doing that, he was able to sight read music and do amazing things fingering-wise that we would not do because we don't practice that kind of stuff. We just practice the scales as they're fingered, so we're not accustomed to this jumping around stuff. It's one of the things that helped make him such an excellent pianist. So, just understand the fingering when you're sight reading is one thing, but when you're working on it, you might do a better fingering. Anyway, so much for that. Left hand, what are we doing here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. This is fun. And then measure 5, then 3. You have 2 beats rest, you got time. But again, I like to feel it, and I don't want to feel that. So I might do a 1 first, and then scrunch up, because there's no rest here. And that last 2 measures, if that's okay, don't need to, you stay there. Just reach down. Although their fingering is fine if you want to use it, I just don't like moving around quite so. Pick one and see what you think, and then put them together. You put them together, I already did. And then go through it and get rid of the hesitation. Then I'll think about the articulation. This is fairly connected. For the phrasing, if you can figure out where they are, I'm guessing it's every 2 measures. I'm going to connect all this together. Then lift up. Lift up. Lift right hand. In the left hand, I'm connecting it. So measure 6. I'm going to lift up in the right hand for the phrase, but I'm going to connect the left hand. There, so I'm lifting up in one hand for the phrasing, but I'm trying to connect the other if I can. Don't always do it that way, but it works most of the time in most pieces. Because these lines they're giving, those are slurs. They're telling you to slur those notes together. Otherwise, you can play it any way you want. I mean, even in these notes, I could do what I wanted there. I'm guessing they didn't give you slurs there because they don't seem to be giving slurs over repeated notes too much. Don't know why. You can. Just connect them as best you can. Then the dynamics. Well, MF. And then MP. And then the second line, start out MF and get loud. So we have these hairpins. Again, look in the middle of it and see what the target is, or targets, what notes are there, and here and here, and then come down. Come down there. It's better if you could feel it. And I only did the right hand because that's what the dynamic applies to. The left hand needs to stay out of the way. It can get louder and softer, but it's got to be in the background. Then the speed. Well, about where I've been going, I think. There's a note under this to transpose this to G major. So we go from F to G major, one step up. And we go from one flat to one sharp. Here you can basically, once you figure out what the notes are, the notes in the music are going to be one note higher than written. So instead of an A, it's going to be a B. And I'm going to play in the key of G major. So it's here. And this, instead of that, it's that. And you can read it according to the intervals. So here it's like up a second, down a second, down a second, down a second, up a second, up a fourth, down a third. Remember the F sharp. Up a third, down a fifth. So I can read it according to the interval if I want, or however you want to do it. Just do it, huh? Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the louds and softs. Give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 3, 4. 3, 4.